Let's go and talk about some of the elements that we see within the game right now. So let's go and talk about, I mean, right now we're in first-person view.
Yeah.
What are some of the other elements that we can kind of see within this GUI right here?
So basically, you have the mini-map, you have the ticket count. You can see, this is basically replicating the first-person view of the player you're spectating. Right now, it's Bravo 24. You can see exactly what he's doing, the ammo count, all that kind of stuff. So basically, this is the closest you get through the in-eye camera. And if you switch to third-person, you will have, there we go, the third-person view, basically, over his back. You can rotate the camera, you can go up, down. You also have a player card showing if he's got any kills, deaths, what's the KD, the score. You also see the accessory, weapons, and also the ammo. This is just to keep you in the action.
I really like the aspect of right there. So right now, it's based off of what weapon he has in his hands at the time. You saw that he pulled out, he's got the M9 right now.
Yeah.
And you can also see that there's no accessories, there's no additional attachment. He's got the standard barrel that's on it. So a lot of that's great information, especially with such an educated Battlefield community out there. That type of information is key and pivotal looking at the game. Also, like you stated, you see how much ammo he has. Just the good facts right here in this point. Something I'm going to ask a question right off the bat, though. How is the Q and E? So I see those are going to be your previous and your next.
Yeah.
But how is that? Is that based off of the geography, how close they are to someone else? Is it based off of how they are on the scoreboard?
It's based off how they're structured in the scoreboard, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was third person. And the scoreboard, right, we have it right here. If you click one player's name on the scoreboard, that will take you to the first person view. That's a quick way of spectating someone.
That's a beautiful
So
thing.
you have different ways of joining in. When we first designed this, let me stop right there and just say, we as in we the team. The team who has been making this is an absolutely amazing team. They're fun to work with. They're super professional, and look at what they've done. They've done an incredible job. And also to our game team over here, we blew it away yesterday at the press conference. I mean, absolutely amazing. So all the love to the team.
And every bit of that was live.
Yes.
There was nothing that was, there was no video rendering. There was no, they weren't just standing up there, just hanging out. There were 64 players out there.
Yeah.
And that was, and the fact that they had Carl Magnus out there on a tablet in this early stages of Battlefield 4. That was phenomenal for me. Let's continue talking a little bit more about this. So again, like you had mentioned, the first-person view, you've got your mini-map. This is basically copy-pasted from what you see in the first-person view of an actual gamer.
And then third-person view is, of course, third-person. The free cam view, this is my favorite, though. You have 5 different free cams. Right. And with these 5 different free cams, if you spectate with one free cam, like we're doing right now, floating around and then switch to another one, you will have another free cam view. If you switch to another one, you'll have another one. And you can alter the speed of the free cam. You can place it anywhere, and you can always go back to the same spot, and it's pinned down. So basically, you can create some cinematic shots out of that.
So my first question then, with that being said, again, this is a great, thanks for the camera guy, giving us the perspective of where those positions are at. They're using the tabletop. If we go back to the free cam for a moment, while we kind of talk about this, my next question that I have to ask is, whenever you're in free cam mode and you're using one of the presets, so we're in preset 1, and you're moving about the map. So right now we're on preset 2. If we move forward and get inside of the skyscraper, and then go to preset 1, and then come back to preset 2, are we where we first began, or are we where
you're always where you
now?
drop the camera. So basically, see yourself as a stick figure walking with the camera. If you switch to another one, you've dropped that camera at that spot where you picked up the other one. So
there we go.
That's how it is. And we also have the tabletop view. The tabletop view is basically, that's your orientation map for being a spectator. You have the picture-in-picture. You have, if I press, you see the green helicopter over there.
See the green
That's
helicopter.
pressed, and you can see all his squad mates. If I press another squad, I can see the other squad mates.
Getting the chance to actually see those rockets come out and actually see the shots being fired. That's something else. You can see where all the infantry is at, where all the vehicles are at.
This is your orientation map. So you can also see your place cams everywhere. And if you can zoom in with a scroll wheel, you can just check everything out. And I love the tabletop view. I love it. It's really good.
So one of the things that whenever I watch any other games, one of the coolest things that we always talk about is having the ability to see the overview and click
Yeah.
what player we want to see right then and there. I think what's
and
great
you can
is
do that as well.
If
you click a player, you will go into the first-person view. If you click a vehicle that's being taken by a player, you get into first-person view.
so that alpha member right there was just selected.
Yeah. And when we designed this, I mean, we took a look at spectator modes all over, all across the years, and we looked at esports spectators. And for major esport events, major esport games, it's cool to have a good spectator. But spectator from the original part of esports was only for seeing if anyone cheats, like way back in the days.
Yep, yeah, you're right, exactly.
And it's evolved through Twitch and through everything going cloud. It's evolved to like a big spectator sport. But keeping that in mind, and then going over to seeing like, okay, our movie guys. We have a lot of people who make movies in Battlefield.
A ton.
And they can make some amazing movies
Only in Battlefield.
using this. Yeah, exactly. Only in Battlefield. So we combine those two worlds, and as it says, this is pre-alpha. There are more really cool stuff coming to complement the spectator mode on launch.
What are some of the things that we can look forward to seeing whenever we're talking?
So basically, a UI that keeps you more informed about your squad. Basically, health bar, the cross with health ticking down. You will see that. You will see the loadouts. You will see how many kills and deaths on the squad boards on the left and right.
Okay, so
It's difficult to explain.
No. So if we're going to talk, I mean, so like I said, so I've listened to you, kind of give us some of the cool stuff. Some of the things that I think right off the bat would be really cool too is having the ability. So I think it's great that you can see the key bindings at the top of the screen. You've got your F1, F2, so on and so forth, so you can switch between. It'd also be, and this is me talking directly at you, it'd also be really cool as if you can hide that.
You will be able to hide that.
So you will see. These are the great
because
things.
movie makers don't want to have the whole interface in, and leagues who run their own things and streams, people don't want to have that on. They might want to have their own stuff. So, yeah, that's going to be removable.
So it's going to be removable.
Or toggleable.
I guess a toggle. Yeah, it's going to be a better way of saying it there. And also, I guess for those movie makers out there, would they also be able to toggle on and off?
Yeah, everything. You can have a complete
here?
Clean screen as well. Basically
that's
having
amazing.
nothing on.
That is phenomenal. I mean, there's a great deal of movie makers. For those that this is your first time to actually even see Battlefield. You haven't actually had the chance to play any of the Battlefield games. The community out there, they produce some high quality videos out there. And if you give them the opportunity with something like that, being able to give them a clean slate, and from any perspective that they like, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, we've got some really good stuff coming up. So, and all the love to the team who created this. They've done an amazing job. The game team as well as the spectator team. I'm so proud to get to work with them. Every day I go to work, I look forward to working with them. They're absolutely amazing.
So some of the things, let's talk about, we see that we got the player information. When we're talking a little bit more competitive side, sometimes you want to be more informed about the other players that are within the team. So,
yeah.
So are we going to get the chance to be able to see other player health bars from a first-person view?
Yes. So it's difficult to explain because I can't have an overview of it. But the whole idea is that you will be able to spectate from up to 64 player servers. So
wow.
No separation of game mode, no separation of server counts. Anywhere, anytime on the PC, and you will be able to see really cool stuff. You'll be able to see the health bars of everyone on the server if you're a spectator. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming out.
That's incredible. I look forward to every single aspect, so I have to ask, for the community's sake, how much feedback do you really listen to?
Oh, a lot. We listen to a lot of feedback. I mean, post BF3, we collected a bunch of feedback as well, because that's what you do when you put out a new game. You start collecting more feedback. And look at our game now.
Yeah,
I would say I could go around to any Battlefield forum and just tick the boxes after what we've done here at E3. So, and after what the team has been making, incredible people.
I thought was really great too is whenever I was talking to Carl Magnus about it, I didn't even have to mention anything about suppression. He was the one that brought it up, and that to me is something else, because I know the community was asking about how suppression going to work, because in BF3 it's kind of it's making a great deal of impact to the players that are in
I mean, that's also a thing we took in mind. It's also a thing we took. I mean, anything that's reasonable. I mean, you can't have flying cats with wings all over the map. I mean, that's not reasonable. So stuff that is very reasonable gets in. And you can see Battlefield has always been a result of, you know, great community cooperation. And yeah, I mean, look at it, look at us now.
I think one of the great things that we look at is just how how your team listens to it. But one of the things that I want to say to the viewers out there that have feedback once they get their hands on the demo is whenever you're making a point, you don't just say something is bad, something is good. You explain why. You articulate why something is bad or good. So that way, if you want to see changes happen, then it's going to, because you've made your point, and now they have a reason why. The developer has a reason why to make changes to the game.
Yep, and I love Spectator.
Oh,
I think it's fun.
the
I think
Spectator. You had me at hello. I mean, it's just
also the rest of the game, man. I love this game. I seriously do.
Having the capability of being able to switch between players, having the chance to be able to guide through 64 players in the server, getting the chance to be able to see the spectator side, being able to see infantry move across the map. There's so much information that is not being lost.
Yeah, and I mean, simplicity isn't always bad. This is a very simple interface. It's very simple to navigate. It's very simple to spectate different players. It's very easy. Sorry, it's very simple to switch around in free camps, and you know, it's simple, but it's still very good.
Again, so let's talk about it. So right now we're in third-person view. I've seen some other attempts at making spectator clients within the Battlefield scene, and it's a great work. Do you have the ability to zoom out from the tank? Can you change your perspective by depth?
That is something we're looking at. Definitely. That's definitely something we're looking at. We've done an amazing job right now, and we're going to keep iterating on it.
This is now getting very nitpicky, and yeah, we have so much time to be able to see until this release comes out for Battlefield 4. So the other question that I have to ask, though, so I already know that the PC side's covered. Is this going to be implemented for the PlayStation 4 side or not?
We'll see.
There you go. Those are the types of answers I would want.
And regarding community feedback, send us your feedback.
Yes.
I love to read feedback. Our community managers would like to see the feedback. If it's reasonable, mix it into the game. We can't bring everyone coffee and cake all the time.
Exactly.
But when we do it at a press conference, and it is glorious. So on launch, go out there, make some movies.
There you go. I mean, again, it's about getting your voice heard.
Exactly.
So I mean, just some of the other things. Is there anything else that we really need to look at? Some of the features that we may see in the future for the spectator mode?
I think this is good for now.
All right. I'm trying to dive through. I mean, there's so many things that have already been covered. The fact is, I mean, with the tabletop view, if we can go ahead and switch over to, we'll kind of run down through everything. So as we look at the tabletop view, of course, this game is wrapping up right now. You have the ability to see every bit of the action. You can see all the infantry. You can see all the vehicles. You can actually see your own camera, so you know where they're positioned at.
So to sum it up, that's the tabletop is your orientation screen where you are neutral. You don't belong to a specific faction. You're completely neutral. You can see everything. You can click on basically everything and join through first person if it's occupied by a player. And first person is first person, replicated. Third person has a good player card.
To come. So as we look here, we see some of the action going down. Now, when you guys get together for your playtest sessions, how do you guys organize your attack here? Do you guys always go to destroy the skyscraper? Do you try and defend it so that this way you can get the upper ground? What is the idea here for an attacking squad? What do you guys think?
I think that the key here is to hold the skyscraper. And the reason I'm saying that is because that you can paradrop into pretty much any base you want from there. So if you get infantry up into the top of the skyscraper, they can pretty much access the whole map, which is a huge tactical advantage in this map.
Now, the other thing I'm curious about, how do you go about defending the skyscraper, right? The bottom portion of it. I know it's a big thing is, keeping armor out, not pushing around it, but what do you guys do?
So first of all, I think you need to control the bay. If you're using a boat to control the bay area and not have people trying to take the building down, to keep the skyscraper intact is if you have the top of the skyscraper, you want to keep it. That's probably, and then you need to control the bay because that's where the weak points of the skyscrapers are. Is that?
Oh,
Oh.
poor guy.
Yeah.
You know, you don't take a gun to a car fight. Yeah, I mean, really, so you do want to control the bay. Also, when you secure C, you also get the gunship, which if, you know, your commander is paying attention, you can deploy, and that could cause a lot of problems. Now, can the gunship attack land vehicles as well?
Yes.
Is it that effective?
Yes, yes. The gunship is mainly a ground attack vehicle, so to basically have access to these cannons that you can shoot down on the ground, quite powerful cannons that you use. The thing is that if you take the skyscraper down, there's another incentive to take it down if you're on the other team.
Oh no, they left him.
Yeah, because then you get all this dust like that covers the map.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit difficult for the gunners in a gunship to actually hit something on the ground. Then you're more required for people to spot things, and then you need more intel basically in order to use that gunship really well. So I would say the tactic B is like capture the skyscraper and keep it.
And
Keep it
also,
intact.
don't destroy your helicopters.
Also, yeah, don't destroy the helicopter.
You really, really do need your helicopters.
Yes.
So we are looking here, Bravo 30, one of the 64 players that are playing in this play session right now. And you can see the Bravo Commander up top, Commander Mode, the feature that has been brought back from Battlefield in the past and has received a lot of praise from the community. From what I understand, a lot of people are like, I just want to play it. I just want to mess around with that. It certainly is a very cool feature. So when you look at what the commander could do, how, if you don't mind me asking, how do you guys go about choosing who is the commander? Is that something that is being done right now? Like, think like, okay, how are we going to implement this in matchmaking and servers, or is it like teammates vote their
So we will have a system that I think people will find fair. We just won't go into any specifics right now as we're kind of working our way through.
But a fair system is in place.
Fair system is in place. Yeah. So I think that you will find it satisfactory in the way that we manage it. It's in the in the spirit of the previous system.
Obviously, you know, there's a lot of new things that have been revealed, and there is a lot of stuff that, as time moves on, is going to be announced and shown. So, you know, hopefully a lot of people out there are pleased with that, because, and I think that they will be. I think that they, you know, I think they trust your judgment, your guys' judgment in bringing a fair and just system for Commander Mode. I know that I'm excited. I want to be a commander like all the time when I play this game. I actually don't. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty good on the ground, but I just want to shoot some artillery at people. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
So now the other thing too is, have you guys just in the process of just talking about the scope of, you know, Battlefield 4, what is the one thing that you look at this game and you're thinking to yourself when you see it implemented, when you see it work, or when you put it in there and it started to work, you were just like, that's gonna be the hook right there. What is that hook that you think that is going to attract so many players to play to Battlefield 4?
So I guess I must only speak for myself. I can't really.
So what's your hook? What's
exactly.
your hook?
Let's base this on me. I think what you're seeing right now on the screen with the whole evolution event that happened, and the fact that we're kind of dynamically changing the environment of the map over time, forcing you to kind of adapt to the situations. It's one of the things that I feel is most impactful and interesting to me as a player.
Okay.
It's kind of what I always wanted the Battlefield to be more like this, and once we finally got in this transition into a different environment, and this is to me one of the big game changers. You can imagine by we having this change going on this map. You could also, I guess, imagine that we could do something interesting on other maps as well. We won't do the same thing twice, but we can do interesting things with the environment.
So Levolution is like that thing that you saw and you're like, this is it. This is our hook. This is what I love, and I know that thousands of other people are gonna love this too.
Yeah, one of them, and I would say Levolution isn't a feature per se. It's more like an umbrella term or a design choice that we're trying to tie all the things together in
Of course.
the term Levolution. So it's, but I think the other thing that excites me personally quite well is the fact that we're finally being 64 players on console.
Yes.
60 FPS.
Yes.
These things is a big thing for me. Something that I always were a bit sad that we hadn't before, and now finally we can do it, and it excites me tremendously.
Let's talk about that, because you see, I am, I'm a console player
Yep.
through and through, and I know there are a lot of people that are watching right now that are console players as well.
Yep.
And they are thinking, oh, I want to get my next-gen console, and look at this, you can actually see the Ballards in action right there. That tank cannot cross because of the fact that that Ballard is there. I love that. It just really balances things out, doesn't allow the tanks to have free roam wherever they want to go. You keep on trying, guys, but you gotta,
Just get out. The
just go and
control
push the button, bro.
Yeah, exactly. It's right there.
Push the button.
And then get sniped.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just
So-
waiting for someone to jump past.
So in looking at the console and bringing 64 players, what were the challenges with that? Were there any challenges, if at all?
There's tremendous challenges, both in engine and on content creator side.
I don't think this is a good idea.
No.
I don't know what I don't know, but we left them because we knew where that was going. That was gonna go nowhere fast, and all they had to do was just push the button.
Exactly.
The little things in the game that I think really are awesome. So before we go into the little things, let's talk about this real quick. Let's talk about the next-gen consoles 64 player maps. Was that something that when you saw the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, you said we got to do this? This needs to be done.
I think that when we first heard about we were going into a new console transition, that was one of the first things that we said. You know what? We must do this. We must go 64 players, and we must go 60 FPS. That's the and since that's
That was the
that
goal, the
basically
mission.
we decided that right there. It was just a natural fit, you could say. It's just something that I've always wanted to do, and so now we finally are able to do it.
Yeah.
And I know that's also been requested by quite a few people out there. That but what this really means for me personally is that finally console players can experience the battlefield that the PC players have done for quite some time.
I've been
with
raving about. Yeah.
Yeah, 60 FPS and so it's super exciting. That's one of the things that I think will make a difference for console players by quite a lot.
Now, how, if you don't mind me asking, how in depth are you, or I guess you could say, what are your thoughts on the customization? We saw a lot of cool attachments, me and Corey, when we were messing around with it, like the canted scope,
Yep.
the green laser sight,
Yep.
the regular laser sight as well. Customization, that is certainly something that you guys are definitely embracing. As you did with Battlefield 3.
Yep.
Is that, is what we're seeing right now, we're going to see more down the line? Is that like a taste of the treats that we're going to get when we hop into the battlefield?
Yeah, absolutely. I think from top of my head, I don't remember how much pieces of customization you have right now, but
There's
it's so
a lot.
It's so much more.
There's
And
a lot.
we added customizations to sidearms, which I'm quite excited about.
Yeah, I actually saw that brought up in, actually, it was in Reddit, ironically enough. I was going through Reddit,
Yep.
and someone was like, did you notice that? And he had the pistol with the sight on it. So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Definitely something very different for Battlefield
Yes.
that hasn't been done before. Do you like that personally? Is that like something that you think about? You're like, yeah, I really do enjoy scopes
Yeah,
on
I remember,
my pistol.
I remember playing recently, and there's quite a few people. It was a point in time where the DICE people had access to a gun that no one else had access to. I think it was like a gun with a silencer or something like that. And people were like, "Oh, Alex, you need to die so I can pick up your weapon and try it." You know, just for a sidearm that had a silencer on it. So I think that this is something that people wanted. I think they want that creativity to be, if I want the silencer or if I want that scope on it, they can do it. If they don't want to do it, then it's fine. Then it won't change the game as much as perhaps customizing your main weapon. But it's definitely something that for those who really dive into the details and really want to cater to your specific experience, then that's something that I think people will appreciate quite a lot.
Yeah, and without a doubt, it really is something that I was pleasantly surprised by. I know a lot of other people were like, "Whoa, this is crazy," because again, like you said, it was a requested feature. It was something that people wanted to see before, and now it is being done finally.
Yep.
And then the other thing that I want to ask you about too is what we're about to see right now. We saw actually this player hop into the water, but you can go under the water now.
Yes.
What's up with that? I mean, how why put that into the game? Did you want to get those cool epic moments where they come through the swamp like a bunch of a bunch of bad guys just doing their business?
No, it wasn't actually that. It was just that when we started, you know, we added these networked waves, right?
Okay.
So basically, you can have big waves networked, so you can drive boats across, you know, basically rolling sand dunes that are changing the environment all the time. So when we started to play around with, you know, this in multiplayer specifically, and so we realized, you know, it feels a bit stale now that you need to add more interesting things to do in the water.
Yeah.
Exactly. So one of the things that was a big problem in previous games when you were in water, you were basically a sitting duck for people to shoot you.
Yes.
So basically we wanted to, okay, so what can we do here? Okay, let's dive under and see, so you can swim for a little while, and basically that's a way for you to escape. The second thing there is that you can use your sidearm
Okay.
while swimming. And
Okay.
yeah, so you can shoot.